When Karen Bass landed in Washington in early 2011, the newest member of Congress from California wasn't merely geographically distant from the Democratic-controlled Sacramento she left behind. She was elected to a House of Representatives that had just been taken over by Republicans, including a mammoth freshman class of 87 GOP lawmakers, many of them members of the Tea Party. By contrast, she was one of only 9 freshman Democrats that year. The GOP grip on Congress forced Bass, at that point, she was most recently accustomed to running the Democratic majority in the state assembly, to pivot into trying to notch wins from deep in the minority and from the lowest rungs of seniority. "I was so excited to go to Congress because I said, I'll be able to do all these things," she said in an interview about her congressional career, recalling her excitement before the 2010 election. That majority evaporated on election day, and with it, Republicans took away earmarks, or the practice of setting aside congressional spending for a specific community project or entity. "That burst my little bubble, and that made me, well, before I was sworn in, try to figure out how I was going to function in a minority environment with no earmarks, and still in a fiscal crisis," Bass said. In some ways, the anticipation and letdown in Congress mirrored her experience in Sacramento. She went in with big liberal ambitions but found herself cutting programs in response to the recession. That experience would come to shape how she operated over her nearly dozen years in Congress. While liberal, she figured out how to work with Republicans to score base hits on the issues she cared most about. She learned to tuck her initiatives into larger legislation or get streams of funding that advanced her causes into a spending bill. Bass, 68, developed a reputation on Capitol Hill among Democrats and Republicans for an understated workhorse style, for being a straight shooter, and for particular doggedness on 2 issues for which she cared deeply: foster children and the relationship between the United States and countries in AF. Karen ain't going to go out calling people names. Karen is not going to go out yelling to high heavens. That is not her style. Perhaps to her own political detriment, Bass never acted like someone who came to Washington in search of higher office. Unlike the politicians who go on to seek a plum party leadership job or a promotion, she didn't build a strong political operation while in Washington. She didn't prolifically fundraise in order to hand out money and collect chits with fellow Democrats.